what I'm about to share could be like for ads, it could be for content, it could be for this landing page. You can decide. Let's just call it like a direct content framework. Now, I learned this many years ago from Frank Kern. I've kind of slightly adapted it a little bit, so I don't take any credit for it. But it is a great framework for all of us to just like keep in the back of our mind to realize that if we're going to put out some form of content. Now, keep in mind the context by which I'm talking about this is for Tim's landing page video. Like it's just kind of a super direct, straight approach. But you could take this same sort of framework and use it for ads. You can use it for organic content. You could use it for stories on social. You could use it for an individualized blog post. You can use it for a PS in your email newsletter. You can use it in several different contexts and categories. But I'll share it with you, and then you can adapt it for whatever execution that you think is right. And again, the reason why it's called the direct content framework is because it's just that. It's direct, right? We're not talking about anything else. We're not hooplying. We're not like building rapport. We're not, none of that. It's essentially the most direct way you can communicate what it is that you have. So the first part of this is if you are blank, right? So in my case is if you're a high ticket coach consultant, if you sell premium high ticket services, if you are you're just qualifying the prospect here. So whatever that is for you, John, in your case, if you are an HR executive, Darcy, if you're a real estate investor, Diego, if you are high-end interior design. So the first part is just calling out and qualifying the prospect. So within the first 3 seconds of that piece of content, they know whether or not this content is for them. Right. And that's part of the process. If they need to know, they can't be like, is this for me? Could this be for me? I'm not entirely sure. So the first part of the content is if you are blank, if you are who your ideal prospect is. The second thing that you want to throw is in there and you want blank. And you want more clients, and you want less stress, and you want to be seen and heard, and you want to create a podcast that is profitable and generates money for you, and you want a far more effective way to participate in real estate investing that it's not fix and flip and wholesale and all the rest of that stuff, right? So the first step is very simple. It's if you're blank. The second step is, and you want whatever ideal outcome or result that they are looking for that you provide. Then the third part is simple. Here is what I got, right? So we're not dancing around anything. It's basically straightforward. It is, okay, well, if you are this person and you want this result, let's just use Darcy as an example. Like if you are a real estate investor who's looking for a far more effective way to generate a high ROI with real estate that doesn't include wholesale and flipping and landlording and all that other fun stuff, here's what I've got. I've got a coaching program, a mentorship program, a webinar, whatever it is that you want. I've got a unique method that's a subset of land development, right? So I've got a very unique way that allows you to do land development like all the big dogs do, but in a very small functional way that you can do as an individual. That's what I got. Number 4, here is what it'll do for you. Pretty straightforward, right? So here's what I got. I've got this unique way to invest in real estate development or land development that even the big guys use, but I could use it. And here's what it'll do for you. It'll allow you to take any vacant land and within very short order, rezone it so that you can build a beautiful property. Don't have to worry about contractors or renovators or any of that stuff and blah, 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 blah. Here's what it'll do for you, which at the end of the day means that you'll have 10x the ROI than you usually would in very less time without all the headaches that are typically involved in real estate investing. And then number 5, here is what I want you to do next. In other words, if that's of interest to you, there's a link somewhere around this video that allows you to book a call with me so we can discuss whether or not this is a good fit for you. And if you want to expand on that a little more, we have a 100% guarantee. This cost is no obligation. I cover the cost of the call for you, blah, 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 blah. But you're essentially giving a call to action. So in a lot of marketing, especially these days, there's a lot of content. There's this, there's that. There's let me make it fancy. Let me go over this. Let me build my credibility. Let me build my authority. And that's all fine and dandy. But in this case, it's not bad, worth trying what we'll call here the direct content framework, the direct content approach. And again, I'll flush through it really quickly one more time so you get the hang of it. But now, in Tim's case, if you're going to do a video, this is the best way to do it, right? If you're going to do a new ad, this is a great way to do it. If you're going to write a PS in your newsletter, this is a great way to do it. If you want a standalone newsletter, this is a way to do it. If you want to do a social post every so often, this is a way to do it. If you want to put up a story on some of your socials, this is the way to do it. Very, very simple, straightforward, direct, no hoopla. This is going to speak to your fast mover because that's who we talk to in this work. And it's just very simple. So if you are a blank, if you are your ideal prospect, call them out and qualify them. If you are someone who sells an information product that is considered high ticket, that needs more sales calls, doing at least $10,000 a month in your business, you're just calling it out direct. And you want more qualified leads at less cost without the use of a traditional funnel. And you want, that's number 2. Number 3, I have a very unique approach that says the hell with it to traditional funnels, that actually repels your non-ideal prospect, attracts your ideal prospect by simply identifying the difference between an information seeker and a solution seeker, so that you can only talk to leads who are the most qualified and want to close business with you. Here's what it'll do for you, so that you'll never have to waste another day or another moment on the phone with someone who doesn't want to work with you, doesn't understand your value, who's going to negotiate on price, and instead convert far closer into your programs, right? So here's what it'll do for you. Now, if all that sounds interesting, your next step is to schedule a call with me. I've set some time aside. Typically my calls cost $3,000 an hour. This one is the first one. It's on me. I'll cover the cost of it. I just asked you to show up on time, and we'll discuss your business, see if this can be applied for you. And if it is, we'll talk about how we can work together. And if it's not, no harm, nor foul. At least you'll walk away with some sort of advice that you can apply towards your business. Make sense? Click on the link below and book a call. Simple as that.